The Close Weekly podcast gives you the most actionable real estate advice you can use today. And in season 2, we're focusing on how you can succeed in 2022's low inventory market. Now, here's your host, the man who has been a top producing agent for over 25 years, Sean Moudry.
Hey everybody, today's episode is with Brian Parsons from the Parsons Team in Pasadena, California. And he's going to share with us how he is currently getting listings from his open houses. But before we get started, I want to remind you that this season's sponsor is Elevate by Elm Street Technology. Elevate is more than just a CRM. With social media posts, IDX website, and an easy-to-use lead generation platform, Elevate provides everything you need to capture and convert more leads. Elevate even offers a time-saving CMA wizard, which lets you create and share CMAs in just minutes. Are you interested in trying Elevate yourself? Then check out tryelevate.com. That's TRYELEVATE.com. And schedule your free demo today. Now, let's hear from Brian. Good morning, Close Weekly. It's Sean Moudry, and we are back once again with an outstanding podcast. And today we are talking to Brian Parsons, who is in Pasadena, California, and he runs the Parsons Team. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, Sean, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, you too. So you and I have known each other for a long time now.
Long time.
Yeah, we're like old friends.
You're my bold coach. And I kept on saying, hey, Sean, I want you to coach me. No, Brian. Sean, coach me. No. Finally, you called me like, hey, I'm going to do it. I'm like, yes, thank God.
That's wonderful, man. I appreciate that. So again, what we're talking about right now, we still have extremely low inventory throughout most major MSAs. And, I know the market's shifting a little bit, but for the most part, there's still a lot of demand. Are you seeing that where you're at?
Oh, yeah, we have tons of buyers, no inventory. I've talked to a couple of agents who think their market's starting to shift. We're not feeling it here at all. Like, not a bit. Yeah, me too, man. I've talked to a friend of mine in Houston this morning, and he said that, that their market is still getting multiple offers, quite a bit higher than market. And so we, on the Close, we're focused about helping real estate agents be successful, right? That's our number one thing is how can we help them be successful? How can we help them not have to chase these buyers around making 20 offers, get on the other side of it and get some of these listings? Right? Yeah, opportunity to be focusing on. Because the buyers are easy to come by right now. We have to almost turn buyers down, because our first time home buyer price now is 1.5 to 2 million. So we get referrals for $1 million, and we're like, I don't know if I could take you on, which is sad.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So now it's just listings.
So you're turning down $1 million buyers.
No, yep, never would have thought that. But someone literally gave us a referral, and we're like, I don't think I can help them. And it's just going to be a time suck from all our other buyers or going after listings. So we just said, sorry, we can't help.
Yeah, I had a conversation with one of the agents on our team the other day, and she said the same thing. She's getting burned out because she's got 5 buyers. She's got 5 buyers, and she's completely burned out because she's showing them every single day, and she's writing multiple offers. And I said, what you need to do is you need to tell these buyers when they're ready to be an A buyer, right? Which is somebody who's ready, willing, and able to buy now. And what I mean by able is they're willing to either use a cash lender that's going to, like Homeward, that's going to lend them the cash, or they're willing to come up with that extra 10% to bid over and pay the difference.
Yeah, waive an appraisal loan, doing and spend the money up front to do that. That's what you have to do.
Yep. Otherwise, they're an unqualified buyer in this market.
Yeah. Our buyers have to be prepared to at least start $200,000 over asking.
Yeah. But that's not the topic. Let's get into the topic of listings. So you and I, when we first met, you had just taken over the Parsons Team from your mother, who had been running it for many years, very successfully running the team. And you were a young guy, kind of wide-eyed.
I knew it all.
What am I doing? Right. And we had a lot of conversations about generating business. What does the business look like in the future? You went through a transition from where the business was really, really marketing based, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right. I think your budget was like 20 or 30,000 a month in print and billboard advertising, wasn't it?
No billboards, but we were spending a lot on Zillow, Google, print advertising, mailers, like, or just listed, just sold. And I was doing a little bit of everything at that point.
Yeah.
Not really, no real focus until you and I started talking.
Yeah. And then what we found was during that period of time, we were coming out of the recession, 2013, 2014, 2015, right through there. And the best opportunity, it seemed at that time, if I remember correctly, was prospecting, right?
Yeah.
Hitting the phones.
Yeah. So I think back then we were doing for sale by owners, expireds, and circle prospecting.
That's right. That's right. And you're killing it.
Dialing for dollars.
Dialing for dollars.
All I would do every single morning, 2 to 3 hours.
Because what we found is during the recessionary times, the marketing wasn't working as well, as effectively.
Correct.
And the prospecting was a very low cost and very predictable way, right, to generate business.
It's all numbers.
You say what?
It's just all numbers, right? You know how many contacts you have to get to how many appointments to get an actual listing.
So Brian, in a low inventory market, is it viable today?
100%. I think today though, prospecting is getting a little bit more difficult because we have so many spam calls. So it's what kind of prospecting are you doing to make it to work? So we've focused more on our database and making our more calls. And asking. I think the key is asking for the listing.
I want to hear the script. Do you have a script?
Yeah, real simple. Hey, Sean, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
If you ever hear of anyone thinking about buying or selling, typically sellers right now are what we're looking for. Do you mind giving me a name and number of your friend who's thinking about selling? Simple.
Just simple. And so you're calling your database.
I like asking the favor, right? Because you're always willing to help me.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if I said, hey, Sean, I need something. Yeah, you'll help me out. I would do the same for you. So there's that. Hey, can you do me a favor? If you ever know of anyone thinking about listing their home, will you let me know?
So I know for me, right, one of my greatest challenges, you might not know this about me, Brian, but this is true. One of my greatest challenges is calling my past clients. I don't enjoy it.
One of your challenges?
Yeah. Yeah. I would rather eat wet dog food.
Man,
I would rather call 100 expireds.
I used to be that way. Not anymore, though.
What changed?
It's an easier conversation.
How so?
Well, I think it's changed over the time because of the spam phone calls we get, it's harder for people are less likely to answer the phone now. But if I call my database, they're answering.
Yeah, they see your name. You're in their phone.
Yep.
They answer.
Right.
So what about the challenge of thinking about it as I'm asking for something and I feel weird about that? Like I don't feel okay asking.
You know, but what you're asking is for a favor, right? And if you're looking at it, you have to give first, right? So we are always giving to our database. We're giving them information on what the market's doing. We're having client parties. We're taking them out to coffees and building deeper relationships. So it's not awkward for me to call them and ask. They want to help me at this point.
That's a really interesting point. So because you're already actively treating your client database and you're showing your appreciation by doing things for them,
right,
keeping them up to date on the market. I know that when Star Wars came out, you rented out the entire theater. I remember that. And I remember what the bill was on that.
But we do things like that. So they want to help us back. So it's not an awkward conversation to call them.
Okay. That's really interesting. So if you're a new agent, okay. So there's two challenges as being a newer agent, right? One is the budget to do those things. So what are some like lower cost things instead of renting out the movie theater for Top Gun 2, which I already have my tickets. I don't know if you have yours.
I haven't thought about that one. That's a good one. take a note on that. It's coffees, simple coffees, right? Meet at a coffee shop. It's $2. Go to Starbucks, go to something local. We then also have done happy hours. So go to a local bar. We like wine. We like to drink. So it's easy for me to go do that and invite people. Because what I'll do is I'll call and invite them to one of our events, right? And so it's like, hey, we're having happy hour. Why don't you come by? Well, hey, by the way, can you do me a favor? Between now and then, if you know of anyone thinking about selling, we'd love to be connected. So it's an easy, just by the way.
Now, let me just be clear, because for those that are listening, I failed to have this conversation. What type of success are you getting? So what were your results for 2021? Just so the listeners kind of have an idea of the type of business you're running.
We did just over 100 transactions for about 1.9 million.
1.9 million GCI, 100 transactions. What was your volume?
Oh gosh, that one I don't remember.
A lot.
80 or 90 million, I think it was.
Yeah, that'd be about right. About 80 million. So what about what percentage of that was repeat and referral business?
About 75.
75%.
So I try to focus on just a couple pillars of the chair, I guess, or the stool, and one being this database is 75%, and then open houses.
Okay. The open houses. Okay, you got to share with me this. Like, this is so interesting to me because guess what else I'm not great at?
Dude, you would be awesome at open houses. Are you serious?
I'm horrible. I'm way too aggressive. I chase people around.
I went through a stage where I hated them. I've always liked open houses, but I wasn't getting business from them. And what I figured out was I was being lazy. So I had to put my systems back in place. Like I would literally just show up, put a sign out, and hope people showed up or whatever. So now it's I door knock the neighborhood, I mail the neighborhood, I call the neighborhood, have the open house. So what I'm trying to do is I don't want the buyers. I want the listings.
Yeah.
Because people come in for two reasons. One is they want to know what their home's worth or they want to buy it. So I'm trying to figure out who is looking at it for a comparable for the neighborhood.
So give me a timeline on that. You have a listing that's coming to market. So this is going to force you when you have a listing coming. And I think this is one of the biggest mistakes agents make, by the way, is they get a listing and they throw the thing on the market 3 days later, right? And they do no pre-marketing, like mind blowing to me.
Well, especially in this market, people don't think you have to. You just put it on the MLS and it sells. True. Yeah. But we have a business. You got to go and find more business from this. Especially now when we have less homes to sell, we're not getting as many listings. Yeah, we have to utilize that to the extent possible. We got to do everything.
Absolutely. So I'm a seller of yours, and I just signed the listing agreement. How soon are we going on the market?
10 days.
10 days. Okay. And now walk me through your timeline on that 10 days to get the most out of that listing so I could get another listing. That's what I want to hear.
So it depends on our photographer, right? Because that's key. No one cares about the description. Photos are everything. So we need to get our photographer in, and that's the first thing. And then
you don't just use your iPhone?
Oh man, I'm too cheap. If I had the newer one, maybe, but no. Yeah, no. We still do hire photographers. We do the floor plans, all of it.
I was being sarcastic. I hope you do not use your cell phone.
No, thought about it one day. So what we'll do is we'll get our photographer out there, and then once we get the photos back, we start working on the just listed mailers and get those out before we almost go on the market. Like literally, I want them in the neighbors' mailboxes the day it hits. And
the day the listing hits active?
Yep.
Okay.
So we try to put them on Monday or Tuesday. Typically, it's going to be a Monday. So they get the mailer on Monday. Then we go and door knock on Wednesday. Invite them to a neighborhood like tacos on Thursday afternoon. So from 5 to 7. So we have margaritas and wine and waters and a taco guy that comes and
at the house.
At the house.
Yeah. I saw one of your videos of you doing that, by the way. Yeah, it was about, 60 days ago. Yeah, it was great.
The reason is it's people will come for food, but also it makes they stay longer. So you're having conversations. It's not just like, hi, come in, look at the house. All right, nice. Thanks for coming. And they're out the door, right?
So this is a neighbors invited only open house. And the other benefit to that is the neighbors aren't getting mixed up with random buyers.
So it's not just for neighbors. No, we do it for the whole community.
Oh, okay. But same thing, right? It's not just
well, the mailer we send out is just listed in an invitation. So people will show up with it in hand being like, oh, here's my invite. We're like, oh, cool. Like you didn't have to bring it. It's basically an open house. We advertise it from 5 to 7. We get realtors, we get buyers, but mainly what I'm looking for is the neighbors.
Okay. Excellent. And it gives them an opportunity to see your marketing, see your staging, see your listing prep, see the value of what the house is being listed for, have a conversation with you about maybe, what do you think the sales price is going to be? Because we know right now in a lot of low inventory markets, the list price isn't the sales price.
Oh, no. So we go through and talk to them and do a follow-up handwritten note. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So we're trying to be different. Even in this market, yes, it's easy just to put it on, but thanks for coming. Great to see you. Business card.
Yeah. So what are the things you said, before you were being lazy? So one thing is doing the door knocking, doing the mailer prior to the open house. When you're at the open house, what are some other ideas that an agent can do to help with conversion? Because I know for me, I'm at an open house. The last one I did, I think we had 35 people through. There was 2 of us there. And I felt like I was running a water park, man. I mean, there's so many people coming through that house.
Well, and that's the problem is once you find one, you have to stick to them, right? And then unfortunately have to kind of ignore everyone else coming through. But I think that's the benefit of having 2 people, that you can try to get as many as you can.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you just try to say hi to everybody, you get no relationship. No one can ask you questions. So it's like, if you and I start talking, I'm laser focused on you and only you, and just kind of saying, hi, thanks for coming in, and just forgetting about them.
So you're doing a light pre-qualification, obviously. So, is this somebody? So what does that look like? What does that pre-qualification look like?
Hey, thanks for stopping by. I tell them real quick about the house. Oh, hey, by the way, people usually come to our open house for one of 2 reasons. One is that they're looking for a comparable for their home, or they're in the buyer, or they're in the market to buy. Which one are you?
Nice. And I say, hey, I just wanted to come see. I'm a neighbor down the street. I just wanted to see the house. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know what you're doing then, right?
Yeah, I might sell in the future, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
If neighbor typically comes in, 75% of the time they're thinking about the selling.
Yeah. I found that too, for sure. It's been a while since I did the neighbor only type open house. But you're right. Like the ones that show up, they're not there on accident.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
So then they come on, we have, open house Saturday, Sunday, whatever. Once we are pending, we go back around, door knocking, calling. So it's just another touch.
Do you go back with the like if you got multiple offers, do you go back with the offers that lost?
No, I haven't done that, but I know a lot of people that do it.
Yeah.
Kind of go around and let neighbors know, hey, by the way, I know you're interested in what's going on. It is pending. We did have X amount of offers. We haven't closed yet, so I can't tell you the price, but it's going well over asking. And then I say, hey, by the way, know any of your other neighbors thinking about selling? We got a ton of buyers for your neighborhood.
Excellent. Wow. And what do you attribute out of the transactions you had last year? What do you attribute the came from open houses? What number?
20%.
Get out of here. That's crazy.
So I'd say 75 is referral based database, 20% from open houses, and then 5 of those just random wherever they come from, right?
Yep. What places are you marketing your open house?
Well, we're doing the mailers, Zillow, Redfin, and those will be the main ones.
Okay.
Social media.
So when you input it into your MLS, does it automatic? Do you have a place in your MLS where you can put in open houses where it syndicates to Zillow, or are you going into Zillow yourself and editing that?
That's a great question, Sean. Someone on the backside does that.
You don't know? I don't know either on my end either. I think our team does it too.
I think most of it syndicates, but I think you have to. I don't know.
Oh, that's
good
funny.
question. I'll get back to you on that.
It's
one.
funny that neither one of us have the answer to that.
That's not my responsibility. I just check it to make sure it's there, and that's about it.
So Brian, if you're an agent that doesn't have a listing to do an open house on, do they use the same technique? Like, what do you suggest there?
I'd ask them. So what I would do is I'd go to an agent in my office and ask if I can hold it open. They may or may not say, in this market, they may not say yes, but hopefully they do. And I would door knock it and call it. I wouldn't do the mailer just because I don't think you have enough time. So I would be out there just getting face to face.
Nice. So just do other agents' listings. Yeah. You know what is when I was with, I had an independent company, as you know, for many years. I had an agent at another independent company who was a small company, and he didn't have any listings. And because we were a small company that did a lot of volume, he would ask if he could hold our listings open. And I let him hold them open all the time because I didn't have the agents to do it.
Well, people think you can only do open house on Saturday, Sunday. Well, find a listing near a school and do it when the school is getting out.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Parents,
if you lived here, your kids could walk home.
I mean, make something like that, right? Like make a joke, have some fun with it.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
You got to think outside the box.
Yeah. So the other challenge that I think exists out there right now is buyers that are, they have a house to sell and they want to buy, but they're stuck with a house to sell. And I think that this is a common trap that we're coming across over and over and over again. How are you solving that problem?
Man, that's a tough one, Sean. Honestly, like what we're doing is we're putting them on and just doing rent backs.
So you're no contingency to find a replacement. You're just closing on it and then doing a 60-day rent back?
So we're trying to do make a contingent, and if we don't, we switch it over to a rent back. So what it does is it makes our now seller, which is a buyer, really motivated to buy something.
Yeah. Yeah. I just had one. I was able to negotiate a contingent to sell on the sell side with my seller, and she did not find another home. So, I had 4 months into working with her, and she's not moving.
It's hard, man. I almost don't recommend doing it. I almost recommend writing the offer and just not making a contingent upon selling the place.
Yeah.
And then just doing it as quick as you can because you know it's going to sell.
Right. But the problem is leaving your client with the potential possibility of being homeless. Right?
No, so you wait till the house, the dream house comes on the market. You go write that, but you don't make a contingent upon selling the house. Because you know it's going to sell.
Right. Oh, so you're not making it contingent upon them being able to sell their house. So you're writing on the house, their replacement house first, getting them under contract, and then putting their house active right afterwards.
If we can, we do a bridge loan.
Yeah. Get them qualified for a bridge.
It might be 7 to 14 days of overlap, and that's it.
Yeah, I think that's something that gets forgotten oftentimes in the industry because bridge loans, they're only popular during these extreme cases.
Well, and if they're a real serious buyer and seller, we'll have photos and everything ready to go before we put the house on the market. So we know we're out looking. I will get photos on their house, so when we get an accepted offer, it's on the market.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of pre-staging it. Yeah. So for those that are listening that aren't familiar with what a bridge loan is a short-term loan that purchases the replacement property. And then when they sell their primary home that they're living in now, they sell that, then they take the proceeds in and then do a refinance. And so it's typically a higher interest rate. There's a few points associated with it, but there are lenders that will do a bridge to permanent financing, right? That exists right now. I think what is it? I can't think of the name of the company off the top of my head.
Which one?
Not Homeward, but there's another one. Anyway. There's a couple companies out there.
There's a bunch of companies out there. A lot of them will do it. It's just getting the right relationship with the lender.
Yeah. So what other challenges are you guys facing with? What are some of the biggest challenges you're facing in with your business right now?
I think mindset and being burnt out.
Really?
Well, look, I mean, we just came out of a pandemic, right? And we've been working our asses off for 3 years nonstop, not being able to really take vacation. So I think we're seeing a lot of agents in our office get burnt out. So it's taking the time to relax, reset, refocus, because now we're back to normal for the most part.
Yeah, I think the hard part for, I had somebody ask me the other day, they said, oh, real estate must be great right now. You guys are making a lot of money. And I said, actually, I know a lot of agents. I know a lot of agents who've been in the business who are great agents. They've been in the business for 10 years and they're struggling because they have one listing so far this year, right? Or maybe two listings so far this year. And, and then they have a few buyers that they're working with, but because the time it's taking to get a buyer under contract and close is so long, and there's so few listings that they have available to them for whatever reason, maybe their marketing plan isn't capturing, maybe they're not prospecting, but they're struggling, right?
Dude, I hear it all the time. We have clients go, "Oh, you must be making a killing."
Yeah.
Well, we have less transactions, so it's, even though the price point's gone up, it's kind of equaling out. But people are they're burnt out, just showing buyer after buyer. And then I think emotionally getting drained now too, right? Because now, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't I getting the offer accepted? The clients are now getting frustrated. So I think it's just like, take a second to breathe and take care of yourself, right?
Yeah, it is funny. Like when the market is, let's say coming out of recession and the home values are really low and rents start rising, is one of the most enjoyable times to be a real estate agent, because you're helping renters get out of being a rental and you're getting into a house that's appreciating. And a lot of times the payment on the house they're buying is less than what they're paying in rent.
Yeah.
Right. So they get a nicer house for less money and they're ecstatic about it. And the sellers are happy because they couldn't sell their house 2 years ago. And now all of a sudden they got, a fair value for their house. And so everybody's kind of happy. And right now we're kind of to a place where nobody's happy again.
Dude, I feel like it's really hard to keep your clients happy, especially in this market. And so it's like, we're trying to think outside the box. Like, what do we do to keep them going? Because we've lost some buyers, right? They're like, we need to find a new agent. You're not getting it done. We're like, okay, good luck. Like, so yeah, you're right. But it's like, you're not listening to our advice.
Yeah.
So I think we've been learning to have real frank conversations up front of what the market's going to be. And you're probably going to miss out on one or two before you realize what's happening. But they get emotionally drained. I mean, so we've had buyers who are looking for a year and a half and just having to help them do it. And it's hard. Well, and the hard part is, right, it's like the expectation hasn't changed, right? Yeah. So they still want the same thing, but the price just goes so much higher. So it's now realigning, okay, no, I'm not going to get what I want. It's going to be a lot less for a lot more money. And it's having those conversations of like, you need to change the location, you need to change, square footage or lot size, and you're probably going to pay more than you want to.
And now your interest rate went up.
Yeah.
Right. So your payment's going to be higher than what you were, what we originally talked about. And that's interesting, because the seller that I had that just canceled her listing, because she had a contingency to find a replacement. When we started looking, the houses were $80,000 less than they are today, and she's 68 years old on, Social Security income. And so, for her, $80,000 is the difference between, eating or not. Right. Yeah. So, because that's her meal budget. Right. So it really just priced her out where realistically a year ago it would have made sense. But today it just there was just no way to make it work.
Yeah, it's hard for some people.
Yeah.
Real hard. Jeez.
Yeah. Now what's also funny is I have sellers that get offers that are $40,000 over and they're upset.
Because they're expecting more.
Because they're expecting, well, the neighbor, they sold in February and they got $100,000 over, You know
what's crazy in our market, if you price it where you think the house will sell for, you don't get offers. Because where we are, buyers are expecting to pay $200,000-300,000 over asking. So if let's just be $2 million, right? If we think it can sell for $2 million, a buyer's going to come in and look at that and go, oh, it's going to go for 2-3. I can't afford it. So
they won't even look at it.
Won't even look at it. So we have to price it at like 1.819, and they go, okay, it's going to go to 300,000. I can afford 2 million.
You know what? You're exactly right. Now I think about it, the buyers that I have, they're not looking at 2 million. But let's say they're looking at 700. They're looking at homes at 600 because on average they're getting bid up about 10% here in our market. So they know they're going to have to pay, $60,000 to $80,000 more. So they don't want to look at a house at 700 because they're afraid they're going to have to pay 770, 780, 790. So you're right. They don't even look at them.
They don't look at it. So if you price it right, it typically doesn't sell, or you don't get as many offers.
Yeah.
So it's just having those conversations with sellers. They're like, what? I'm like, it's crazy to think, but yeah, this is how we have to price it.
Yeah. I've been going in with sellers and saying, when is the last time you sold a home? Right? When's the last time you sold your home? Right? And they say 20 years ago. And I go, well, let me tell you, a lot has changed in 20 years. Can I sit down and show you what has changed? Yeah. Right. So one thing is the way we market homes is completely different. And the way buyers shop for homes, right, is completely different. So once you kind of explain that, and I always use the Toyota Camry analogy, right? Like if you were to buy I had one guy, he had a brand new Nissan Maxima in his garage. And I said, I don't know if it was a Maxima or not. I think it was actually a Murano or something. But I said,
you know your cars.
Yeah, something like that. It was maroon, whatever it was. And I said, you got a brand new car in the garage? And he says, yeah. And I said, so when you shopped for that car, did you search specifically for that make and model? And he said, yeah. And I said, so if there was 20 of them available, did you look at the highest price ones at all? Did you go to the dealerships? Did you call the dealerships? Or did you only look at the ones that were priced well? And he said, I only looked at the ones that had the features that I want that were priced at the bottom. And I said, exactly. That's exactly how buyers are today. When they search for the features that they want in your home, they're not looking at the homes. They're not going out and viewing the homes that are at the high end of that price range. They're going out and all of them are fighting for the ones that are at the low end. So if you price at the low end, right, and I say you can't underprice your house in this market, because if you price at the low end and you allow the market to raise it up, right, allow the market to bring the value up, don't price it up and expect the buyer to offer low and then meet them halfway. That's not how it works today. So that's the conversation I have.
You have to have that, right?
Yeah. What are you doing right now to keep your mindset positive?
I'm winning my mornings. So every day I wake up, most days, let's be honest.
Every day I hope you wake up.
Every day I wake up, but I try to do the routine every day. I wake up, I read, I get coffee, I read, I exercise, I review my goals, and then I do my calls. So if I do those things, the rest of the day I'm usually doing pretty well at. Because what I'm trying to do is I want to stay healthy for the kids, because I got 3 little boys. I want to grow my knowledge, and then I want to grow my business. So if I make my calls, then my business will come afterwards. I find if I let my phone or my email or my text messages distract me before I do my calls, I don't get them in. And then my day's over and I'm pissed as hell at myself of I didn't grow my business. I just sat here and let everyone else distract me. So making sure I get those done, whatever those activities is for the day, it's got to happen.
How much time do you set aside to get that done?
2 hours.
2 hours. And because here's my first thought is I'm very practical and you know me. So when are you showering? Are you showering before or after all this activity? In between?
So some days, it depends on my activities for afterwards. So being that we work from home now, I have a full gym in my garage. So I might just come straight in and do my calls.
Okay.
And I'll do it afterwards.
So you go work out, go in, do your calls, and then shower afterwards. You're prioritizing your calls even over your shower.
Right.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that, I think it's really easy to prioritize things that, let's be honest, just don't really matter. Like it matters if you are showered if you're going to meet with a client, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's going to smell you over the phone.
Right, exactly. If I'm going to the office, yeah, that takes time now, right? And now I have to shower, now I have to drive. And then as soon as you get to the office, oh, how are you? Everybody wants to talk. It's like, I don't have time for that. That's an extra 45 minutes.
Yeah. Calls
I could be making. You know me. I want my calls, whatever it is. circle prospecting, if I'm calling my database, I get frustrated at myself if I don't do it.
Yeah. You know what I heard from you that I'm going to take in as something that I need to add to my day is reviewing your goals. So I'm one of those people, I have a lot of interests. Like I'm super curious. So if I hear something, I want to learn more about it. And then I end up in this rabbit hole, like reading. And then it's like I'm the kind of guy where if I read a book and they reference another book, now I have to read that book, right? I'm like, well, where did they get that from? Well, I want to read that book. And so the problem with that I find myself doing is literally forgetting what my intentionality was when I started off on a journey.
Right.
And I love this reviewing our goals each day to say, remember why you're going on this journey?
Well, it's like I have it on my to-do list. It's the first thing I have here on my screen. And it in bold, it says review goals. And then seriously, because I will just go past that on my list, right? It's number one always. But then I have to stop and think, okay, review my goals. Because then you go back and look at it and it reminds you why you're doing the calls. I own a property management company. I'm buying investment properties. That's why I'm doing these calls, so I can take the profits to go do other stuff with. And if I lose sight of that, it's like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Why am I doing this? Yeah.
But it's like, okay,
oh, man. I love that. That's the best advice of the day. So let's leave it there, Brian. Thank you so much for your time today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Sean. Good to catch up, brother.
You bet. Close Weekly. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.